I should have bought a lottery ticket this morning. It was a job I never wanted, in a place I never thought I would be. The person who drove the truck wore a red hat, and the badge on his chest said, Nevada Division of Forestry. It was his job to drive toward fires and floods, to supervise the reduction of fuels in the forest, and to beautify the sides of the highway. 12 people in orange hats did everything he said as he stood with his arms folded and his hands clean. The person who sat next to the person in the red hat wore a black hat, and that was the hat that I wanted. It wasn't altruistic, I just didn't want to sit in the back of the truck with 12 sweaty firefighters. And I don't look good in orange. Jason, as the man in the red hat was called, was difficult. And he was not my cup of tea. But if I have one marketable skill, it's making friends. So I did everything he said. I worked my butt off, and I kissed his. And eventually, I got my black hat. As I started to work harder, some of the other men wanted to compete for that hat. And as Jason's days got easier and his work was more fruitful, he started to have pride in himself, and he even started to get his hands dirty. You might even say we became something like friends. The only problem was, at the end of the day, Jason would go home to his family, and the rest of us would go back to prison. One day, as I was cutting into the trunk of a tree that was full of beetles and had become a 70-foot matchstick, I caught movement out of the corner of my eye, and a red hat was moving directly into the line of the tree where I knew it would fall. He had earbuds in his ears, and his face was buried in his cell phone, and I screamed, "Falling!" And he didn't hear me. And I screamed, "Falling! Falling! Falling!" And I averted my eyes, and I ducked. And when I stood up and I looked, he was still standing between two of the largest branches of the tree, laughing. And I let loose. And I told him everything I thought of him and everything I thought of the prison system. And I piled in a lot of the energy of the frustration that I had in myself, in my embarrassment for what I had done. And then I threw the chainsaw down and I walked back to the truck and I waited for whoever would come to take me off the project and back to a concrete cell. Nobody came. Until Jason came and climbed in the truck and said a combination of words that I know he had never said to another inmate. "I'm sorry." About a week later, my daughter went missing. She was 15 and she couldn't be found, and I couldn't get any information. Jason sought information on my behalf and spoke words of comfort. He kept saying over and over again, "Don't worry, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay." And he was right. And without those reassurances, I don't know what I would have done. Then he confided in me that he had been going through a divorce. And so it made sense that he wasn't so nice and he wasn't so eager. And I started helping him online dating. We sat in that truck together for an entire year, sometimes for days or weeks on end. And we knew each other pretty well. But I needed to move on to a better job so that I could make money and prepare myself for the future. I mean, who wants to cut trees in the woods for $1 a day? So he helped me get a job at the license plate factory, and I figured I would never see him again. Eventually, I was released, and I moved to another place I never thought I would be, California. And one day, I looked Jason up on Facebook and sent him a message. And I got a positive response within 10 seconds. This surprised me because he had told me, even though we were such good friends, I have never allowed an inmate to contact me after this. Turns out, ironically, Jason's home recently burned in a wildfire. And because of that, he had to move to California with his mother. And because of that, I was able to bring him here tonight so that I can stand up here and say a combination of words that I know no inmate has ever said to him. Thank you for treating me like a human being. Thank you for being my friend. And everything is going to be okay. Thank you.